What's up, dudes? Welcome back to another episode of Rhomas Men's Team. Pretty simple. We are a group of guys helping each other make progress towards each other's goals. If you're new to the channel, awesome and welcome. If you want to help support the channel and join our pro team, head over to rhomasteam.com/pro, where you can contribute to us on a donation basis. We also give you access to exclusive content, mastermind groups, etc., etc. So anyway, hope you enjoy this episode, and we'll see you on the team. All right. Hey, what's up, brother?
What's up?
All right, dudes. Phil, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, I don't know. Living the dream. What's going on with you guys?
Same, man. Just wanted to get a slightly new crew on here. Does anybody want to volunteer and to put themselves in the hot seat? And does your name start with and end with ill?
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right, sweet. Let's do it, man. And MFG, we cannot hear you for some reason. Let me see if I can unmute you. Can you try unmuting yourself first and see if that works, bud?
Oh yeah, I just muted myself. I'm out here walking a dog in the woods, so I don't have any background noise.
All right, cool. All right, Phil, what's going on, brother? What's the update, my friend? Oh, sorry. I think you cut out. You guys can't hear him either, right?
No.
All right. Well, we'll skip over Phil for a second.
Sorry about that. I'm back now. All right, what's going on? Question?
Yeah, what's going on? What's some life updates, my friend?
I've been working on my main passion in life that I hope to become my job a lot this week. I've been doing that maybe 2 to 5 hours a day, which is pretty good.
Hell yeah.
That far. That's pretty much it. Other than that, I've just been staying in my current situation. I've done pretty good. Better than ever before recently. So those are some wins, but that's pretty much it. Everything else I've been kind of complacent about.
Sorry, Phil. So I think we got the first thing, which said you're working in your passion. Would you mind? What is that for you?
Making a video game. I'm pretty close to being done to release a video game that I've been working on.
Oh, nice, man. So do you program?
Yeah, I just do everything. I'm just making a game by myself. So I do the art and the programming and stuff.
Oh, awesome, dude. And how long has it taken you to get to this point?
Well, I started 2 years ago, but I took there's been many months and months of no work on it. So it's been 2 years, but continuous work, maybe 3 to 6 months or something. I don't know. 6 months, maybe.
Yeah, I found that to be the typical pattern of like when you set out on a project, it always takes many times more than you think. And then also I've always found that there's also a lag in work at some point, right? That's just normal, dude. And then you said you were sharing some other wins. What were the other wins? Only because the internet was cutting out.
Oh, I've just been going to the gym and doing the stair machine, and I'm trying to get consistent doing that every single day before I go to the gym.
Oh, nice.
I did it all every day the last 2 days, but
awesome. Well, hell yeah! Congrats on the win. So I think what you're saying is you've been working on your video game now for 2 years, as well as you've now been on the Stairmaster for X amount of time every day, except for maybe the last 2 days. MFG knows a lot about that Stairmaster. Congrats on the wins, brother. If you can still hear us, anything that you're struggling with right now, any obstacles?
You mean like which kind of obstacles do you mean, like mentally or life obstacles, or anything?
Either or both, brother?
Well, I'm not really dealing with my money situation other than I'm still doing Uber Eats and DoorDash delivery as much as I can, which is making an okay amount of money, but I haven't looked for a job seriously yet. And that's really I'm skating on thin ice with that situation.
Okay.
If I were to get a flat tire right now, I don't know if I could afford a tow truck and the tire. So that's a pretty stupid situation to put myself in.
Is it cool if we go roundtable on this topic? Is that cool with you?
You're probably going to hear a lot of bullshit from me, but yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and here's the thing, man. It is. I don't think you'll get from any of us air quotes advice. I think it's more so like, hey, if I were in your situation, here's some things that I would think about. Don't have to listen to us at all, man. It's just to get a tribe of guys around you. So, all right, Patty P, let me throw this over to you first. If you were in Phil's situation, he's done a great job of getting done a major life project, which is the video game. Also done a great job of starting his health in order as well on the Stairmaster, et cetera. And now is reaching a little bit of a traffic jam financially. But on the other, and he's doing, in my opinion, what he's got to do, working side jobs, Uber Eats, et cetera, because there's so many people in his situation that just don't do anything. So Patty P, what are your thoughts? If you were in Phil's shoes, what are some thoughts that you would have?
Dude, don't get down on yourself. Like, you're literally hustling your ass off doing fucking DoorDash, and you're making a game, and you're going to the fucking gym. You're doing good. That's what I would say. And it's hard to fucking think that in the moment because of stress and all that kind of shit. But just hearing it from an outsider's perspective, dude, you're doing a ton of shit. So don't get down on yourself about that shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah. MFG, how about your thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, man. I mean, if you can make ends meet and you can chase down your dream, I think it's always better to err on the side of taking the risk, but if you've got marketable skills and you can get something a little more substantial that you can fit in to your dream that you're chasing down, and even one that can potentially give you some skill sets that might kind of be in line with what you're doing, even if not exactly in the same line of work, but something adjacent to that. So it doesn't feel like you're completely wasting your time. Like for me, even when I've taken like laboring gigs, I hate them. You know what I mean? I'm old. You know what I mean? I'm almost 40 years old. I don't want to be killing myself doing demo work and doing all this kind of shit. But what I would do is I would take things that were just slightly out of my scope of understanding. So at the very least, I could look at it like, all right, well, this sucks. It sucks getting paid like a day laborer. But at least I'm acquiring new skill sets that I can carry forward with me. You know what I mean? At least I can tighten up my skill set on this and get somebody else to pay me for it. So that might help, because you're not fucking doing a goddamn thing for yourself. I mean, it's great to get by doing Uber Eats or DoorDash, but that's like, there's only so many fucking podcasts to listen to. You know what I mean? It's like, if you can find something that's in line with, like industry adjacent to what you're trying to do with your game, that might have a more positive impact than it would take time away from that dream, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, what?
No, please go ahead, buddy.
Well, it's a bit of a different thing. But I mean, I'm curious what you think about this, Wes. I have a $500 a month credit card bill because I'm a fucking idiot. Instead of dealing with my situation a year ago, I got $20,000 on my credit card for some reason. Mm-hmm. So how dumb is it for me to open a new bank account so my Uber money goes in there and to stop paying my credit card?
Oh, okay. Let me ask you this. If you don't mind, and tell me to back off around any questions that maybe hit a sore spot or anything. Do you have anybody depending on you? Like any kids, spouse, girlfriend? Okay, awesome. Honestly, like that really helps the situation in this type of situation. Okay, $20,000, $500 a month. Okay, I'll answer first as a man. So in my opinion, as a man, that $20,000 represents an obstacle to build muscle for you. So one of the ways I hear the question is like, hey, Wes, I've got to lift this 200 pounds on a bench press. Should I do it or should I not? My answer would always be like, you try to fucking do it. because if you don't, you're robbing yourself of the ability to build your muscle. Now, the technical answer on the other side is it is totally an option to not pay a debt in America. There are consequences of that, right? Like if you just tell them you're not going to pay it, then I believe it's about 7 years until your credit will clear. So that's an answer as a man. That's an answer as sort of like the math side of it and the technical side of it. And then I'll give you the third answer, which is like what I would do if you're cool with that. I would for sure pay it. $20,000 I know feels like a lot right now, but I promise you in the grand scheme of things, like you will look back if you pay it off and be like, wow, like it wasn't $200,000. It wasn't 2 million. It was 20,000. You're not too many Uber Eats away and or other side jobs away from being able to pay that off completely. Now, I'm not saying it's 2 sessions of that, but I would imagine if you put that on your goals list, within a year, that thing could be gone. And even earlier. And if this video game pops off, who knows? So I would never judge you or any other man if they chose to take any of those options. But my vote would be, if I were in your shoes, I'd figure out a way to fucking pay it. Not for any other reason than who it would make of me and who I would know myself to be if I did it.
Yeah.
And also, I agree with Ray in the comments. Dude, you're not a fucking idiot for getting that credit card debt. You're just a human. Right? The amount of stuff that we do, we have to go through the process of learning shit. So there's nothing to do with being an idiot. And by the way, you're working against a massive marketing machine. The credit card industry, right? Like, is really hard to fight against. So no judgment here, brother.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Yeah. And then in terms of the career and everything, dude, there's not a guy that I respect who is successful that didn't go through some shit to get there, right? Whether it be living out of their car like MFG, like it'd be, doing Uber Eats or whatever the equivalent was, right, to get there. That texture is part of the story. It's also what makes the fucking story. Nobody wants to hear a dude who's like, yeah, I got rich and I was already rich, right? Like I inherited $5 million and I made another million. It's like, who gives a shit? You had $5 million to begin with. But it's the dudes who had nothing, who put everything on the line, and who also did the work along the way, right? It's not like you're just like making this video game and then not doing anything. You're making this video game and you're doing what is the prescription for success in most cases. Put everything into your passion project and then work where you can and when you can to make sure you can fund yourself. If you don't have some risks hedged, like, oh, God forbid, if my tire blew out, or if I had to get a tow truck or whatever, I couldn't pay for it. Okay, like you're only one Uber night away from being able to pay for that. So just take the next night, save it up, or 2 nights away, whatever that is. Like it's not 100, it's 2 or 3 sessions away. Save that money in a different bank account. Now you have that risk hedged.
Yeah, that's the only real reason I was considering to stop paying my credit card, is because $500 a month would make it a lot easier to save up money. But because I make a shockingly small amount of money per day on Uber Eats after gas, because the gas is $5 a gallon where I live in California, and it's really hard to make any fucking money on Uber Eats. But that's the only reason I was thinking of doing that. But no, I think I think you're probably right. I should probably deal with it.
Yeah, and I also agree with MFG. Like, what's the difference between Uber Eats and putting your information on Uber Eats and putting your information on a place like Upwork or Fiverr? I know nothing about these places, but I'm going to assume if you have computer skills, I agree with MFG, you could probably, right, get paid in the marketplace for using those skills, which will very likely be a higher margin than Uber Eats. That's my guess.
Yeah, and no gas costs. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I need to spend more time on that. I'm really resistant to doing any of that stuff because it makes me so uncomfortable. So I always run away from it. But yeah, I need to get on that.
What makes you uncomfortable, bud?
Just applying to jobs. Yeah.
But
it just makes me feel like I've been I had a software job for 7 years and my resume is fucking garbage and I got fired from my job. So, I just feel like a complete dumbass, but, it doesn't matter. I could get a job if I applied.
Bro, number one, first of all, I'm not even saying get a job, right? Like Uber, like I wouldn't define Uber Eats as a job, right? It's more of like you are a contractor or you're running your own small business. You do the same thing up on Upwork and Fiverr. They don't give a shit about your resume. Like now they might care about the projects, but you could probably put some video game stuff up on there. And even if you have nothing, or there's going to be something out there. If you are able to program, you are able to be hired. I mean, MFG, what are your thoughts on that? You think programming is an in-demand skill right now?
Yeah, man. I wish I had a more marketable skill set that I could do remotely, especially in my situation now. You know what I mean? So I'm envious of that for sure. And also too, don't let there's a difference between shame and guilt. Like you're guilty of getting fired from your last job, but that doesn't mean that you're a fuck up. You might have fucked up, but you gotta kind of let go of that before it holds you back too much,
I think I'm very slowly coming around to that. That's very, very hard for me to actually do. It's very hard for me to do. I do feel like a giant fucking douchebag. And it isn't fair at all because, my circumstances before I got that job were ridiculous. So for me to act as badly as I did makes total sense. If I were looking at someone else in my situation, I'd be like, yeah, of course, it's not his fault. But when it's me, I feel like it's different. So, it's hard to feel that way, even though I know you're right.
Yeah, and that takes intentional work to undo though, because if that's the way that it's always been for you, it's familiar. You know what I mean? So to change that way of thinking is actually more uncomfortable, even though it's more advantageous. Is that you're actually more comfortable beating yourself up. And also too, when you do
definitely.
that and you think that, oh, I'm such a fuck up, blah, 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 it does two things. It alleviates you from the responsibility of having to try because you can say, oh, well, why would I bother to try? Fucking loser and I'll never work out anyways. And you can repeat that narrative, and that's, that's where apathy creeps in,
Yeah, that's really my main problem is I think my actual number one problem even though I never think of this when I'm thinking about problems, I think my real problem is that I don't work hard and I haven't built up a skill, the ability to work hard. And I use all of my, I had a hard life bullshit to cover that up. Exactly like what you just said. I pity myself instead of just doing it. Yeah.
I mean, when resentment is within you, then a lot of times our answer to resentment is apathy. You know what I mean? Like, so your retaliation against your own internal resentments against whatever the fucking, we all have things that we could legitimately resent, but you're holding on to this and it's holding you back. You know what I mean? Because you've got to burn up so much fucking bandwidth remembering why you're angry, remembering why you shouldn't try, remembering why this person fucked you over, or this didn't work out, or why it wasn't fair. Which is great. You know what I mean? You can do that till the day you die, but nobody else cares. Like the other people that you feel so wronged to, they're not keeping score. But that, you can just get stuck in this. You create like this internal narrative that now everything falls in line with. So the negative story that you've created and the framework that you've built, now it alters your perception so that the world around you actually seems more limited and harder. Because everything you see, you place in the receptacle that you have for it before you even have any level of objectivity to see what it actually is versus what you kind of want it to be. Because the ego wants to be right. So if you keep saying you're a fuck up, you believe you're a fuck up, well, like, believe it or not, we're wired to be right, not happy. And so you have to fight against that.
Love it.
Yeah. And, I don't want to take up too much time with my stuff, but like, the last thing I was just saying is like, I think actually I got really lucky the last few years because I used to be way more like, fuck you to the kind of stuff you were just saying at MFG. That I was more like a lot more resistant to that kind of stuff a few years ago. And I started riding my bike a lot because I used to love riding my bike when I was younger and I hadn't done it in a long time. And I just for no reason really decided to like start riding really long distance. And so I just looked up like what's a reasonable amount of increase of mileage per week on a bike. And I just took the absolute lowest limit of that, like increased by like 5 or 10 miles a week. And in only like 4 months, I went from riding like, less than 20 miles to riding 80 miles. And like, I was riding my bike for like 4 hours straight, like nonstop. And I was like completely drenched when I would get home. And like, it's really kind of crazy to me to think that like, cause I'm such a pessimistic person and I feel like I'm so trapped in my life and so trapped in my mindset. It's really kind of crazy to me to think that I rode like across the Bay Area. I rode from the south to the north part of the Bay Area and back like nonstop. And like, it wasn't hard to do that. All I did was I went biking once, every week. And so, yeah, anyways, if I just stick to stuff, it'll definitely get a lot better.
Oh yeah, I just invited Jordan up on here because that's his. Here he is. So this is our bike master over here, Jordan, mate Phil.
Hey,
Jordan.
What's up, Phil?
Yeah, man. So, dude, number one, Phil. Just so you know, all of us here are representative of the same stuff that you're saying. We all beat ourselves up. We all say we're not worth it. We're all pessimistic at times, sometimes, oftentimes. Like, you're in a good tribe, my friend. And we appreciate you even willing to have the conversation, because all of us here, too, at probably one recent point or another, didn't want any feedback from the group. Right? It's like, fuck you. Like, I don't care. Burn the world down, sort of a thing. So, dude, you're in good company is what I'm saying. Jordan, any thoughts on Phil has recently gotten into biking and has found that he can actually output way more than he originally thought. Jordan, has that been your experience as well?
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same, dude, actually. I was just reminiscing about when I first got into biking. When I started biking, I was doing 5 miles on a big day. Like, that was like, a lot of work for me back when I first started. And now, if I'm mountain biking, I can do 50, I just did a 50-mile race recently. So like, you can go, you can bike as long as you want. I mean, at the end of the day, you're on 2 wheels and like you can coast at some point too. So that's the great thing about biking is you can go fucking hammer it. You can get those intervals in, get your heart rate going, but then you can coast too. Like, it's really the best workout is you can go a lot further. Like, I like running now, but you can't go as far when you run, and like you get more tired and you got to worry about the water and stuff. With a bike, you can put water on your bike and just go hammer the miles. And yeah, up to 80 miles. Hell yeah, that's a great clip. A lot of people, when they get into biking, they're always striving for the century ride, the 100 miles. So, but if you're doing 80, you can easily get that 100 miles in because you don't need to subscribe to any speed or anything. As long as you do 100 miles, like, that's huge. So yeah, good for you getting on 2 wheels. That's my preferred way to work out for sure.
Fuck yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to get up to 150 miles because that's how much to go all the way around the whole Bay Area. And that would be really freaking cool.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Patty P, can you relate it at all to beating the shit out of yourself? Oh, he's on mute.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. I think all of us here can. Patty P, how do you help get yourself out of when you're beating yourself up too much?
Man, off the top of my head,
you just punch your cat or something like that.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, no. So it's mainly like whatever physical activity. I mean, I don't want to have that simple of an answer or whatever. Be like, oh, therapy's great, all this other bullshit's great, talking about my feelings is great. But sometimes it's just good to go beat the shit out of something, like, in a productive way. So, like, I'll have my drums, play some drums or whatever. I try to do that. I meet with guys once a week. I try to play at my house some more, but depending on how. Anyway, a little off topic. Yesterday, I joined an MMA gym.
Fuck yeah.
To do Muay Thai because ASB called me out a couple meetings ago and was just like, hey, I was like, yeah, I was thinking about doing that. And he was just like, why don't you just do it? And I'm like, oh, I never really thought about it that way. And yeah, yesterday I got my first little taste of Muay Thai, and it was, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of felt nice punching the shit out of a fucking bag and kneeing it and, learning all that shit. So that'd be kind of my long and short answer of it. I mean, it seems like, Phil, you got like a, pretty good setup with your bike and like a goal to like reach, and like, so my goal is to lose fucking weight before my wedding. And also it wouldn't be bad to like know how to punch someone in the face, I guess,
Yeah, maybe even at your wedding. So,
hey, I got it.
yeah. So, MFG, what I'm hearing in the comment thread, because I can totally relate. I wonder if there's a thing there of men, in addition to talking this shit out, in addition to thinking through it philosophically, we need some sort of medium to like get our power out, to like fucking chase the demons away. I know for me, dude, if I don't fucking work out, like the demons consume me. And this is on a daily fucking basis. What'd you say, Patty P?
Idle hands are the devil's hands.
Oh yeah, dude.
I think, Wes, I think you said on one of the podcast episodes that a lot of men are resistant to doing things that are not resistant necessarily, but not as interested, like in going dancing, for example, as going to the gym and learning to fight or whatever. And I think that's something that's really missing from my life. I don't have a lot of things that are actually like getting out aggression. I mean, making video games is a very, it's like kind of like painting in the lamest way possible. It's like a very passive thing to do. You're you're thinking really hard and you're doing really tedious stuff, but you're not punching shit. And that kind of sucks. Like riding a bike also it's great, but it's not really the same as punching shit. So maybe I do need to do that. I don't know.
Where do you live, Phil?
I don't know. I live near San Francisco.
Is there any mountain biking near you? You should try mountain biking out.
Yeah, I got a really shitty mountain bike in my storage container. But there's some trails. Yeah, I'm always worried about getting a flat because I don't have tubeless tires.
There.
But yeah, I would love to do mountain biking. That would be really fun.
Yeah, Phil, I agree with you. I mean, I think we all have our inner ape, and that thing sometimes just wants to fucking pound its way out of our chest. So I personally do like the more aggressive types of things, but then I also fucking dance, right? So like, this is not like a macho. Like I'm just trying to find medium.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Get out that energy. I could agree with Jordan as well. It's like, hey, if maybe road biking is not getting out that aggression, I wouldn't automatically assume that biking can't. Maybe you have to just add an incline to it or something like that. There's also no other reason you can't do push-ups along the way or something along those lines. But yeah, man, I think we're hitting on a thread here that might be pretty helpful, not only for you, Phil, but for all of us. And Phil, you're already fucking doing it. MFG, what are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I don't do anything that would be classified as aggressive per se. But I think you do really hard things, and you do things that you're actually afraid of doing, and that, you know what I mean? Like actually like have to enact courage to do. Or like even, I mean, the shit that I do on the Stairmaster is just like brutal. Like I do like 400 flights in an hour. You know what I mean? 400 floors, which is insane. I'm like running up the stairs, like you're dripping in sweat. That like it gets you into that adrenal place of like fight or flight. And for me, I find that you do that, and then I like to use the sauna too, because that is a form of like, you're not gonna die, but staying in a fucking sauna for 30 minutes is really hard. You know what I mean? And you have to fight against your own fucking weakness to do it, and blah blah blah. But at any rate, I find that doing those things every day reduces my baseline anxiety and sets my perspective for the rest of the day. And if I didn't have those things, I'd be in the fucking loony bin. You know what I mean? But especially like finding whatever it is that you can find and just push yourself to like complete exhaustion, complete physical exhaustion. I find that to be quite cathartic and therapeutic, especially with that anger shit, you know?
Yeah.
And can I say something that I would only say to myself or to a brother? And you can come over, you can get some of that aggression out, and you can come over here and punch me in the face, and I will not retaliate, I promise. One of the things that I have found is if, like, dude, to me, and this sounds going to sound cheesy as hell, it sounds like you are already making steps towards the next level. Like you're ready to crack through the seal. You just finished this fucking project. You just got on your healthy game, whether it be biking or on the Stairmaster, et cetera. And you're now saying, hey, I'm open to a roundtable discussion, when a year ago I probably would have told you guys to fuck off. I think a really awesome opportunity is, you know how they say like mood or action does not follow mood, but mood follows action, if that makes sense. I think there's these there are these transformative things that you can do, that a man can do, that make disproportional steps forward, especially in his psychology. Getting in the fucking gym for the first time. I don't want to fucking do it, and oh shit, I just did it, and now I feel better. I don't think I could ride my bike. Oh shit, I just rode it for 30 miles. Oh fuck, like look at what I could do. I now feel better. I am only saying this because I think a low-hanging fruit, if you're open to considering it, and if you're not, tell me to fuck off, is like your beard and hair and everything. If you trim that shit up, I would be curious if that like evolved your psychology a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like showing some sort of outward representation to the world and to yourself when you look in the mirror of like, I'm fucking transformed now in here. And my body is also going through that, and everything else is too. And by the way, bro, I say this out of love. If that is something you'd be like, yeah, I want to go get a fucking haircut. I want to trim up my beard. I'm not saying you got to shave it all off. I'm not saying anything like that. But starting your external self representing what now your new evolved internal self is saying. If a financial burden is there for you, say, I can't do it. Hit me up on a DM on Discord. And like, I would be honored if you let me gift that to you. The only thing I ask for is a before and after pic. So just know that's not a charity thing. That is you allowing me as a man to contribute to another man's journey, if you're up for it. If not, I'm totally cool with fucking off. So just keep that in your back pocket.
Hey, that's really, really, really cool, man. I appreciate that.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. It'd be my honor if you did it. Like, I would be upset if you wanted to and didn't ask me. Like, there's no pride. Again, it's not fucking charity. I know, and I hope that you would do the same for me in reverse.
And also, I wouldn't discount the impact that could have, Phil. I say that from personal experience. I mean, you know, I spent like 5 years where I didn't cut my hair and I didn't shave my beard for almost 6 years. And it was, I mean, these guys remember, it was a bit ridiculous. Like, my beard was down to my belly button. Like, you know, and I was doing that for a reason. And when I had grown so much and changed so much, I'm like, all right, well, it was kind of like, what I realized is that it was becoming too attached to my identity. Like, my own internal shame was externalized, and it was becoming like something I could kind of hide behind. You know what I mean? So for me, when I did it, because I got rid of my beard about a year ago, a little over a year ago, and trimmed that down, and the hair was about 6 months ago. In both times it reinvigorated me in a way that I wouldn't have anticipated, but I was pleasantly surprised, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
And you're on Discord, right, brother?
Yeah, I'm on Discord.
Yeah, so you can hit me up there if you want to take me up on the offer. But I very much agree with MFG. And also at the same time, if you told us all, hey, I'm not interested, it's like, okay, cool. Like, if that's not a thing for you, that's awesome too. So we're here for you, brother, is what we're saying.
No, I'm definitely going to hit you up. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, just let me know, Venmo or fucking whatever else, Zelle or whatever works. But bro, I honestly, dude, I think, in my opinion, you'll look back on this time 10 years from now, and this was the biggest gift. Like the gift of, not the gift, saying for me, the gift of having an obstacle so large and that you fucking overcame it. And now maybe at that point you're a father. Maybe at that point you're running your own business. Maybe at that point, who knows what the fuck you'll be doing as a leader. But it's like, this is the shit that gives you the muscle, right? Like don't fucking avoid it, you know, because you deserve to work your way through it. And you have a group of men here that are saying, fuck yeah, like, go do it.
Yeah, I really, really appreciate this group. It's a really pretty amazing thing you guys have going here.
Oh, dude,
And actually, I think
you're
I'm
part of it, bro.
I think I'm thank you also. I'm feeling really good. I had this weird kind of not OCD, but like this kind of compulsion about like when things get fucked up, I just like I can't bring myself to unfuck things. I want to just throw it all away and start over. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I don't have anything other than I have to pay $200 a month to keep my storage container so I don't lose all my stupid bullshit. That's the only thing I have to worry about. Well, other than, running out of money and becoming an actual tent homeless person, which I do have a tent if that happens. Got it in my car, but it really is a clean slate. I have nothing to worry about at all. And it feels really good. I'm actually pretty happy most time throughout the day. And yeah, I'm looking forward to working harder and figuring stuff out.
Yeah, man. We've said on here many times, like happiness is for women and children. I was thinking about this in the shower a couple of days ago. Happiness is for women and children. Satisfaction is for a hardworking man. That's in my personal opinion.
Yeah. Like
MFG and I have talked about before, like chopping wood. Just go and chop your fucking wood and you'll be satisfied at the end of the day. And also, Phil, I would say just brother to brother, like when you catch yourself saying, oh, I'm a fucking idiot or all my stupid bullshit. If once a day you could catch yourself at saying that and don't say it and just replace it with something a little more positive. That gives credit back to you that you deserve. Do you know what I mean? Like one thing a day, what did you do fucking well? Because I know you do a bunch of stuff. Yeah, that's not giving yourself credit for it.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to get into this too much, but it's very hard for me to give myself credit. It makes me feel, if I just use the words I use internally, it makes me feel like a giant fucking faggot to talk to myself in a positive manner. And it also, I don't want to get into it, but it's really hard for me to do that. So I got to practice, and it's definitely. I'm glad you pointed out because it's one of my main problems. But it's really hard for me to fix that.
This is like the men's team. It's that shit that Ray says all the time. It's a holistic man. So like the whole concept. I understand what you mean about being like you little fucking bitch inside. Like that's that masculinity stuff coming out.
It makes me uncontrollably angry. I have that. It makes me so angry when I start. Yeah.
So it's just kind of like learning how to be compassionate with myself was something. I mean, still something on that it's always a work in progress. But like even the last couple of years in this group and with therapy and like all this other shit that I've been trying to, clean up my own shit in my life, like. That's part of it, man. So you shouldn't have to like feel bad about things. That's something that I bet you everybody here has a story about or has that same feeling too.
Dude, I have an enemy's card, right? Like, we're all in the same boat, brother. What do they say? It's like hurt people, but I think it's more like hurt people, especially themselves. So it's like somewhere along the way you got fucking hurt, probably many times. So did everybody else on this call, and that's great. Not because it's to diminish anybody's journey, but to say, hey, we all had a part of the same fucking journey. Now, in my opinion, and this is where MFG needs to coach me, right? Like, I don't think you suppress all that. I think you control that rage to the proper domain, right? Like whether it be MMA or whether it be your career, whatever, like in a healthy way. Like to me, that's energy, right? It's just not to be expressed everywhere. You turn that fucking energy because maybe right now there's a possibility that you're just lighting that negative energy over the world versus like taking that energy and focusing it like a laser into something you want to accomplish. That way you can be out there the rest of the world, right? A gentleman, because a gentleman is strength constrained, but a gentleman also needs to find an outlet for that strength. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So, bro, I think you're on a great journey, my friend. And thank you for being, number one, vulnerable and being open to even having this discussion. And dude, you've said nothing here today that all of us haven't gone through and or are going through right now. So thank you for being a representation of like that type of archetype.
Also,
I really appreciate you guys spending so much time talking to me.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. Come on anytime, brother.
Yeah.
That's what this is
Hey.
for, dude.
And remember, dude, you get like feeling like a fucking homo when you're being nice to yourself. I get that. You know what I mean? Like I was raised to like, you better do really well and you better shut the fuck up about it because you're supposed to do really well. And like, if you don't do really well, then you're a fucking idiot. And if you do really well, then yeah, exactly. That's what the fuck you were supposed to do. So keep it moving. But that's not that great to foster artistic growth. You know, because you need to have both sides of the coin. You need to be able to honestly critique yourself and receive criticism. But in order to be able to honestly receive those things where you can improve, you have to acknowledge what is positive. You know, so you have kind of, if you consider yourself to be an artist developing a game, I mean, that's developing the whole concept is a large thing to do. But you owe it to your art to be able to look at yourself objectively and then be able to internalize what you hear from others. Good and bad, you know, and also too, like, remember, you get to, I know this sounds fucking real gay, but like, you get to choose who you're going to be and you get to choose how you're going to show up. And what I found, especially over the past 5 or 6 years, is that, you know, over a long enough time frame where I've really changed how I show up to the world, my perception of the world has changed because I actually changed the world because now, like, I noticed this the other day. I've default become the smiling, happy guy that just says hello to everybody, even in the fucking grocery store, and waves. And then, like, I find the world to be a shockingly kinder, safer, more peaceful, encouraging place. You know, it's, which 10 years ago, we thought that was the dumbest shit ever. You know what I mean? I was like Mr. fucking hard nosed, like, you know, stubborn. You know what I mean? I'm a fuck up and let me just do what I got to do and, you know, make it inarguable. But I'm telling you, man, you get to just don't forget that you can change how you feel and how you choose to show up to the world, and it'll change back with you. You know.
Absolutely love it. Well, Phil, we're here for you, brother. We're all here for each other. Love you guys, Jordan, Patty P, MFG, Phil. Thank you so much, brother. Hit me up anytime, bro. The sooner you hit me up, the sooner we can do all that stuff we were talking about earlier. All right, dude. Love you guys. Have a great fucking weekend.
Oh, hey, one last thing, guys. I'm about to drive from North Carolina to Maine today for a little family vacation. I'm going to go visit my family for a week. So anybody that has like recommendations of documentaries, podcasts, throw that shit in the Discord because I got 16 hours of windshield time to fill.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I'll send you a message, brother.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, later, dudes.
Guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, boy.